So a few months back, I got the keys to my new apartment and knew I wanted to build it from the ground up and do it right the first time compared to my first dorm-esque apartment. It took a few weeks to get everything perfect, but one of the first things I pieced together was or is my Apple TV setup back there, and I gotta say, I'm actually pretty proud of it. After all, what living room setup is complete without a place to watch YouTube, stream shows, or just play music? So in this video, I want to dive deeper into the components of my personal media or entertainment center and put you on a few products that you might actually like and should definitely consider. First up, we got my TV. It's an LG Class 99 QNED, or put simply, a 65-inch mini LED 8K TV. You heard me right, 8K, which seems a little overkill and expensive, but not the case here though, at least as far as 8K TVs go. I scored this model for $15.99 back in April, which is pretty much on par with a 4K TV of similar size, quality, panel type, etc. But why 8K and why mini LED over OLED? Well, first up, my last TV was a Samsung 55-inch 4K panel. It was sort of a mid to low ranger in terms of brightness and quality, so I wanted an upgrade in size, brightness, and contrast. But I just couldn't justify buying another 4K panel and wanted something higher resolution that I could potentially repurpose later for video production or gaming. It also might have higher resale value in the future if and when 8K becomes more mainstream. Another reason the 99 QNED was attractive to me is its mini LED panel tech. Essentially, you get higher contrast than a more typical LCD or LED panel, albeit not OLED level. But where mini LED currently has OLED beat for the most part is brightness, which makes a big difference during the day when you just want to sit and watch something with lots of ambient light in the room. On top of image quality though, this thing is built really solid. Lots of metal here along the frame and the back. It's super heavy too. It also has plenty of ports and pretty decent built-in speakers. I haven't felt the need to get a sound bar yet. LG's built-in smart interface is also not half bad either, although of course you know what experience I prefer, which we'll get to momentarily. But yeah, all in all, for $1,300, you really are getting quite a lot of bang for your buck with this TV. Next up though, of course, we got the brains of the operation here, a current gen Apple TV 4K. As good as some Android-based TV operating systems or interfaces have gotten, my TV experience feels wildly incomplete without tvOS and Apple's wonderfully crafted solid metal remote. The interface is just super clean and of course syncs up with other Apple devices and services, so you can easily change the audio output from your TV to your AirPods, for example, if you want to discreetly watch some TV without disturbing other people in your home. You can also have it sync up with your iCloud photo library, which is great for sharing memories with family and friends on a big screen. You can also AirPlay your iPhone, iPad, or Mac screen to it as well, and I know some TVs have this function built in now, but in terms of overall smoothness and speed of connection, the best experience can be had with Apple hardware, and that kind of makes sense, you know how Apple is. Last up though, an Apple TV also acts as a HomeKit device or hub of sorts, so you can use it instead of or in place of a HomePod to link up multiple HomeKit outlets or lights together, you know, a sort of HomeKit network. You can also toggle HomeKit devices with Siri via the remote and toggle home scenes in the tvOS menu. The Apple TV 4K is also plenty powerful with the iPhone 13's A15 chip on the inside, which makes Apple Arcade games on tvOS actually playable and worthwhile. Beyond the Apple TV though, all of this tech sits on a clean media stand or table I got off of Wayfair. It's listed as a storage credenza from a manufacturer or designer called Hana, if I'm pronouncing that right. It was a pain to build, but I think it looks incredible in the alder white color variant with its modern and minimalist vibes that fit this Apple chic or whatever I got going on around here in this apartment. It has plenty of storage inside, which is accessible via these spring-loaded handleless cabinet doors, which I love. This thing also fits my giant 65-inch LG TV that doesn't have a central pedestal or stand, more so legs on the side, so it's super wide. Again, I'll leave links below if you're interested in any of these products I'm showcasing here. But with the essentials out of the way, next up, I want to talk about lighting. You can have a gorgeous new TV, arguably the best TV interface displayed on it, and all of that on a clean media stand and still have the whole ensemble looking kind of sad and drab without proper lighting surrounding it. Lighting was hugely important when I designed this new space, so I took the time to research and invest into some proper ambient lighting to make this media center so much more welcoming and wonderful to look at. On either side of the TV, I have these Edishine lamps that I bought off Amazon. They look super modern, low-key, and take up such little space while casting this gorgeous, bright, soft light onto the wall behind them. They're also made of metal, which is a nice touch too, and come with remotes and a foot toggle to change color temperature and overall brightness with the remote at least. Behind the TV though is where things get interesting. I am obsessed with backlighting my TVs and displays and have been doing it for years. To start, I have a basic variable color temperature LED strip I also got off Amazon installed to the back that matches the other LED strips that I have around my apartment. This way I can control it with the included remotes that come with each LED kit strip, so all of them are synced up. It's convenient. I also have the strip plugged into a HomeKit outlet so I can toggle it on and off with Siri, along with all my other lights in my living room and beyond. But anyway, this backlighting makes the TV act like its own light, especially at night when I want to fill my living room with a nice warm glow. But when it comes to consuming content, things get a lot more advanced. While a plain LED strip like this one I just mentioned is better than nothing, it certainly isn't all that exciting or dynamic. There's also no possible way for it to dynamically match with the content you're watching unless you decide to go with LEDs that are way smarter and literally sync with the content you're watching on your TV in real time. Well, luckily for us, my friends over at Fancyleds reached out and wanted to bring my TV setup to the next level with their HDMI 2.1 Fancy Sync Box kit, and boy does it. But let's get into the kind of tech involved here first and how to set everything up and more thoughts on my experience later. So what comes in the box? Well, as you can probably put together, this is an LED kit with a separate box or component that analyzes the content on your TV and then mirrors that to the LED strip included, which is super dope. In the box, you can find the spool of LEDs, the sync box, in this case an HDMI 2.1 equipped one with 3 inputs and 1 output. Speaking of which, they include a small HDMI cable to plug into one of your 3 devices of choice that you can hook up to the sync box, again thanks to all the HDMI input here. You also get brackets and adhesive for easily mounting your LEDs on the back corners of your TV. Last up, you get a separate power cable for the sync box along with a few international power adapters and instructions as well. When it comes to setup, thankfully, it's super simple. First, attach the included adhesive to the brackets and install them to the back 4 corners of your TV. Then you unspool the LED strip and begin attaching it at the left or right back bottom corner of your TV, guiding the strip into the brackets when you round the following corners. Once you outline the perimeter of your TV, you just snip off the excess. Then all you have to do is plug in the USB-C end of the strip into the sync box itself, connect the sync box to power, and you're nearly ready to get the whole experience up and running. The only thing left to do is to download the companion app available on Android and iOS, create an account, punch in your Wi-Fi credentials, and then manually sync the sync box. Once done, you can adjust brightness, saturation, diffusion, orientation to make sure your LEDs are syncing up in the right direction. You can also customize the experience with each HDMI input as well, which is great, although for now, I really only use one with my Apple TV. Real quick though, I want to go back to the HDMI 2.1 ports for the moment, specifically the 2.1 aspect. Not only do you once again get 3 of these ports so you can link up to 3 devices of your choice like an Apple TV, gaming console, or Blu-ray player, they all support HDMI 2.1 bandwidth, which supports up to 8K at 60Hz or 4K at 120Hz. In short, you aren't compromising any resolution or refresh rate to have this dynamic backlighting experience. With all that said though, how is my personal experience with fancy LEDs? Well, it's something I've never experienced before, and I'm probably never going back to consuming content without them installed. It just makes everything, the UI, YouTube videos, shows, movies, feel alive or more interactive or in tune with your environment. That's because, again, the LED strip is sort of mirroring whatever is on your TV, casting that light on your wall and the objects around it. And once again, you can adjust brightness, saturation, and diffusion to your liking, along with toggle music listening modes with multiple presets, along with scenes like rainbow, fire, smooth, and just simple color. But anyway, this makes watching action-packed shows like The Boys on Amazon Prime or really moody cinematic movies like Tron Legacy simply magical. The LEDs are also super responsive, so as soon as the scene and colors change, so does the strip. It's like a whole light show behind your TV. I imagine this is really amazing for gaming as well, and I'm going to have to try more of that in the future. But yeah, as I've been saying, this dynamic backlighting really immerses you into your favorite content in a way you've probably never experienced. Again, I certainly hadn't, but I'm so glad I have because fancy LEDs are going to become an integral part of my TV setups moving forward. Another thing I want to make a note of is that this LED kit, just like your Apple TV, is fully compatible with HDR and Dolby Vision, which is great because the LEDs here will match the high contrast and enhanced colors you're seeing on your TV with these viewing modes. The LED strip is also RGBW, the W meaning that there's an additional white light diode in each little LED module that allows for precise color balancing and brightness control, instead of using red, blue, and green diodes to create white light. And since the sync box is taking data directly from your HDMI device opposed to using a camera or some kind of sensor, what you see with the backlighting is essentially what you're getting on screen with high fidelity and no interference from other lighting conditions in your given room or environment. All in all, specs aside, this dynamic LED backlighting kit from Fancyleds is game-changing if you want to take your home entertainment setup super seriously. I cannot wait to binge more content, movies, shows, along with listening to music and more, and have the experience extended into the ambient lighting of the room, especially in the dark when this effect is most magical. I'm also super excited to share this experience with friends and family who, again, probably haven't seen anything like this either. I'll leave links to Amazon and Fancyleds' website in the video description down below if you're interested in checking them and this amazing LED backlighting kit out. And that about wraps up this video here. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you want to see more apartment-themed content like this. And as always, I'm Noah, and I will catch you all in the next one.